Hi, I'm Brett Watwood. I'm going to be your instructor for EDU 6333, Social Media and Beyond, or as I like to say, hashtag Let's Learn and Have Fun. So again, welcome to EDU 633, Social Media and Beyond. As I said, I'm Brett Watwood. I'm also B. Watwood. I have an email address at Northeastern. I blog. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You could say I have a digital identity, and I suspect every one of you has a digital identity. That's part of what we'll be exploring in this course. So let's take a quick look at what the course involves. This course is an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity to explore. We're going to be looking at several social medias. We'll be using social media as an active part of the course. We're going to explore the ethical use of social media, and that may be different if you're in K-12 versus higher ed versus corporate. So we'll look at that. We're going to have each of you assess the value of its use for your own particular situation, and we're going to do this collaboratively. There's obviously questions that can help guide us. We're going to think about whether the past can help guide our future use, and that may or may not be true. We're going to look at what research says about integrating technology into the learning experience, and research says quite a bit. And can the web enhance motivation and learning? I think that's what we're going to try to explore. There's two required books, Tanya Justin's Social Media for Educators and Paul Anderson's Web 2.0 and Beyond. These books were published 5 years ago. 5 years is a lifetime in the digital media. So they're getting outdated a bit. I think Justin more so than Anderson. Part of what I'm going to do during this particular term is look at a new book, Social Education and Social Media, which came out last year. And I probably will be shifting to this book this coming winter, or spring rather. So I made it an optional book for this course. I'll be looking through it as we move through the course. The course flow, we start off by looking at social media. The second week, we begin to build a network with social media. And then we kind of bounce back and forth between what I would consider technical aspects and policy or use aspects. And so there's a bit of back and forth in both of these. And then we end up looking at the ethical use, including some of the legal aspects of that and what it might mean for you moving forward. Most of our work will take place in Blackboard. That's where the course is housed. But every week we're going to be using Twitter. Some weeks we'll be using Facebook instead of the discussion board. And that's more of an experiment just to see if it works. And I'm asking each of you, if you do not already have one, to set up a LinkedIn account. We won't be using LinkedIn much, but we'll allude to it quite a bit. And you'll see a lot about LinkedIn in some of the readings. To get started, and I'll go into this in a little detail in a minute, you may or may not want to set up an email account as a dummy account to set up all the other accounts. That tends to cut down on spam emails that you get afterwards. But you will be needing a Twitter account. You will need an account to either TweetDeck or Hootsuite, and I'll go into that in a second. You will need a Facebook account. We have a private group page that we use for some of our discussions. And having a private page means that you don't have to friend me and I don't have to friend you, but we can still communicate through Facebook. And in the Getting Started section, there's a short survey I'm asking you to take, just so I can learn a little bit more about you. For those of you that had me before, you've seen this, but I use a method in my instructional design that's a little different from some of the other instructors. I picked this up from St. Leo University in Florida that came out with this maybe a decade ago. But it's called PI, Preparation, Interactions, and Evaluation. And I'll show you this in a minute or two when we get into the class. But in a nutshell, every week there will be a preparation folder that gives a little perspective and overview of the module and the learning objectives, and a very detailed task list. And then the interactions is where you interact with the content, with each other, with me, and sometimes with yourself in a reflective way. And so that's where our readings are, where we'll be doing discussions, some of the Twitter discussions, information about assignments, and then finally evaluation is how you get graded. And if you have to turn something in, that's where you will turn it in, is in evaluation. There's the flow to the week that pretty much works from week 1 to week 12. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you kind of get into the readings and research and so forth. By Thursday, you have started your initial tweets for the week. By Friday, and this is a little different than some other courses, you'll post your starter post in either the discussion board or in Facebook, and we'll kind of bounce back and forth between those as we move through the course. So watch carefully to see where you're supposed to post. And then Saturday and Sunday, you're following up with your classmates on both Twitter and the discussion post. And a little bit about grading, and I'll come back to this again in a minute, but in my courses are very discussion oriented. So that means that I expect you to follow up with your classmates and follow up with what they ask you. And I kind of grade the post and the discussions or the commenting equally. So if you post something on Friday and then wait until late Sunday to start responding to your other classmates, you're not giving your other classmates time to respond back to you. So half of your grade is going to suffer because of that. The best things to do is post Friday, go in and start commenting Saturday, and then follow up on Sunday. And you'll see this play out as we move through the term. There's a series of major assignments. You're going to be making an infographic that's based on some data you collect about your own use of the internet, and you're also going to be writing a paper. The infographic is due week 3 and the paper is due week 4. You're going to be creating a poll about social media use and surveying friends and family and co-workers and fellow students. You'll do the poll week 6, and then again you'll analyze the results week 7. You're going to choose a lesson to revamp using social media, and that'll be week 9. And for those of you that are in, say, corporate or not actually teaching, we'll try to arrange this so that it best works for your environment. So don't worry too much about that yet. In week 11, you're going to be researching a social media legal course. And then finally in week 12, you're going to be loading these up into Digication and doing a reflection on the course. All right, so let's take a look at the course and see what it looks like.